All right, this is
Wow,
B.
3 hours in. Wow.
Bro, it's been
This is
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, B. Final Fantasy 14 Online coming to Xbox Series consoles in spring 2024. And during the Final Fantasy Fan Fest 2023, the game director Naoki Yoshi P, welcomed Xbox head Phil Spencer onto the stage alongside Square Enix CEO Takashi Kiryu to celebrate the Xbox release announcement for Final Fantasy 14. On stage, Kiryu made the following statement. And one more thing, as CEO of Square Enix, we want to continue to deliver fabulous games to fans across the world. And of course, we want to welcome the Xbox community as well. And starting with today's announcement of Final Fantasy XIV coming in spring 2024, and whenever it's possible, we are planning to bring our games to Xbox for players around the world to enjoy. We really look forward to working closely with Phil and the Xbox team to make this possible. In response, Phil, Dominus, Maximus, Aurelius, Spencer, gotta give King his boss, thank you, Kiryu-san, and we deeply respect the rich legacy of Square Enix, and we look forward to building on the relationship that we've established in bringing Final Fantasy King is out of pocket.
You sound like a new boyfriend. You know? I really respect you, love. I'm just sorry.
He's going on stage with it. And Final Fantasy 14 to the Xbox and partnering closely with you and the Square Enix team on future games. And then following that, also this week, we saw from the official Final Fantasy Twitter account, says announcing that Final Fantasy XIV is for Xbox Series X and S. Following an open beta test during patch 6.5, we'll proceed to the official release in spring 2024 on Xbox. So this kind of broke late. Luckily, the Lord's got this news cycle. It's been breaking the internet. But I'm gonna break protocol a little bit, Web Dave, because I do have to ask one particular Lord who, you know, he loves these Square games. You know, we in a situation that we probably never
I have no clue who you're talking about.
we never thought this might happen. And then, you know, the following week it just so happened that this particular Lord and King were having a discussion about Square Enix. So I gotta know, breaking, how's my brother feeling, Lord Addict? Square Enix, Final Fantasy 14, more Square games on the way, and the public display of Phil Spencer, Square Enix CEOs. Where you at with this?
Well, the tears of PlayStation fans was pretty nice that
Oh
day.
my God.
I will say that. Second thing I'll say is when it comes to just this particular announcement, it's cool. I see 14. 14 is a very beloved game. A lot of people love 14. I'm just not one of them. So, you know, I'm glad that we're able to get that on the platform because I feel like there's very few things that will get that much. This might not get awareness to turn-based Final Fantasies, like the older ones or like the newer ones they're giving out.
Mm-hmm.
But this will give awareness to the Final Fantasy brand on Xbox because this world is built entirely around Final Fantasies. Like, you know, our raid bosses?
Yeah.
Their summons have raid bosses.
Really? I never played this
So,
game.
you know, you literally, there's raids you fight Bahamut.
Oh, that's fire.
There's so many raids that have summons for bosses, a variety of things, and I do think this is a phenomenal game to be in Game Pass. I want.
Wait, they didn't say Game Pass.
No, but it's free to play.
No. I'm just talking about
free to play to level 70.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I'm just talking about Xbox in general. I don't know why I said Game Pass. King is really
that's the
getting in my
platform.
head.
That's the platform, but go ahead.
So, like, when it comes to that, I really enjoy that. But I do want people to put a little bit of a break. Like, just pump the brakes just a little bit.
We ain't doing that.
Because this doesn't mean they're bringing remake. I do think this is very
love the poll
good.
question.
I do think this is really good for the relationship. We'll probably see like the Octopath Traveler 2 come to the platform now. We'll see, you know, there is a rumored Final Fantasy Tactics game, the original one. I think it's Lions War or something like that. I can't remember the because they made a Final Fantasy Tactics on the PS1 and then they remade it on the Vita. And I can't remember. I think it's Lions War. Someone in the chat, there's over 1,000 people in that chat. Hit that like button. Someone in the chat correct me. War of Lions. War of
Lions.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that remake probably shows up on Xbox now. Maybe not day and date because this relationship is relatively new. We might not see the bear of fruit going into this.
I don't think it's new. I think they've been dating.
But I think
King's
that
IPS is high. Stop being messy.
yeah, I think when it comes down to this, it's very good. You know, I think once these contracts start to wear out, you'll see Final Fantasy VII come out, and then maybe King Right, and I have to eat a chip.
Oh,
So,
he actually said it.
Nah, my man ain't eating no chip. Like on God and them, I don't care. You can give me your knees. I don't give hell.
So we do something else.
We
We don't want to.
Not with you.
Yeah,
not
that was
with
your
your
tradition. But no, but let me. I gotta ask you this, Ed, because this is for years. You've been on the front line with this. You have been the guy.
I made a video.
Yeah.
I have over 60 videos talking about Square Enix games not on Xbox.
Facts. Like what was it surprising you like that? Like what did it feel? Did you feel like, yo, this is they're really improved. They're really gonna try to do something. Like how does this feel for you? You've been wanting this for so long.
I had two thoughts. I'm like, oh snap, 14's coming on Xbox. That's crazy. And then my afterthought was, but it's not 7 remake. Look, it's a good, really, really good step forward. It's like I said, in a lot of ways, having this game come on Xbox is bigger than having remake come on Xbox, because people don't realize how popular this game is.
Yeah, break
it's
it down.
Insanely popular. You know, you could pick classes from all the Final Fantasies just about. You know, in Final Fantasy X, Auron has like this red. I think I don't know exactly what the name of it would be. Like they go to that detail. Like you can get the stuff that a lot of the Final Fantasy characters wear. Like it's an understatement to say this isn't one of the most popular MMOs that's in existence right now.
Wow.
And it's never been on Xbox. Like you know, and I think that this game coming to Xbox is going to give way more presence and awareness on Xbox, because it's free to play up to level 70, and you're able to just jump in there. It's going to give more awareness on the Xbox brand of Final Fantasy than Final Fantasy VII Remake would.
Okay.
Yep.
Because Remake is just one game. You play Final Fantasy 14, you're meeting characters from the other games. Yo, what's this dude in here for? What game he go to? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it will give more recollection in the long run. But
so
until we start,
this is chess, not checkers.
This is like starting out with the pawns first. Like, and I do think that this is going to send a domino effect where hopefully you'll see maybe not the Final Fantasies that Square Enix has secured, but like I said, the Octopath Traveler 2s, the Final Fantasy 9 remake. Keep in mind, there's more remakes coming.
Is true. That is
it's
true.
not just ending at 7.
NVIDIA
so they're trying to stop them games from missing Xbox. And then you, like I said, Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Lions remake that's rumored to be coming, and not to mention Dragon Quest. They're trying not to stop them from not coming to the franchise.
They had a Dragon Quest before too.
You know, and it's like I said, if they bought Square Enix, I don't think it's happening. But if they bought Square Enix, I played Tetris for a whole 2 hours on the stream.
You'll be bending the knee. Look, this is a big deal. I'm glad that you got your perspective. Let's go back to normal format with our guest, Lord Web Dave. You know, don't know how your connection is with Square, Square Games in general, but just, how do you feel about this news? What the significance of this news with Phil Spencer and obviously Square Enix, this fan fest and this kind of public statement, forward-facing statement towards the community?
It is big, really big. I mean, this is something that we've been wanting on, and Phil commented on that they wanted to have happen 10 years ago when it first came out.
Good point.
So it is hard to. There was one video that's going around on Twitter of a person who was watching the show, and when they announced Phil Spencer, and you could see it on his face, Phil Spencer. And then he just starts going so crazy and excited and then crying at one point. And people are like, he's excited over Phil Spencer? He's like, no, he's a super passionate gamer about Final Fantasy 14, and the realization that the game that he loves is finally coming to the platform he loves. That was
And
what he
keep
got
in
so
mind,
excited
Dave,
about.
this is
And
crossplay too.
yes, exactly, crossplay. So now you can play, because my son and my daughter both play the hell out of 14.
Really?
And already, in fact, we have messages already going there, like, so they're gonna help me level up.
They gonna carry you through the Destiny raid. I love this. I love this.
They're gonna carry the old man.
I love this.
Exactly. Because it's like I said, I was 11 for a long time. Really big fan of playing 11, and 14 is good. And I know, like, Miles Dompierre was saying that maybe this means that they can bring games like the Mana series, and there's a lot of those, and maybe they've already announced that it's coming. Kingdom Hearts 4. Well, maybe now Kingdom Hearts 4 can make its make its way to Xbox, which will be great, because the other ones have been on Game Pass at one time. So
real quick,
go ahead,
Dave. I'm looking up like the raid, like big bosses that's in. You got the ultimate weapon, Behemoth, the thing that was in 15. Odin. You got Ifrit, Titan, Garnardia. I definitely butchered that. You guys can make fun of me. It's funny.
Diablo.
It's okay. No, Sheva. You got Phoenix, another Odin. Like this. This isn't just a game this is a game that's heavily dipped in the Final Fantasy sauce.
Like, it's the lore. Continue, Dave. Yeah, I agree. That's huge. Any other statements on? Oh, you were good.
No, I'm good. It's just it's really good for the gaming community, and for Phil to make a special appearance there, it shows to me.
Yes.
And that's another thing.
And to the world of gamers. Go ahead.
Kingdom Hearts 4. That's a game that it's probably going to come out the next couple years, and this early work might lead to that game not skipping the platform.
It's a good point. No, it's a good point. I hear what Dave was saying in reference to the symbolism, right? So of Phil being there, so I got to get to Lord Saab. I'm very curious. Final Fantasy 14 coming to Series X. More Square games on the way. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, like I said yesterday on Khalif's show, like, it's shout out to Phil and the team for doing the work. I think the sad part about it is that they had to do the work because if you look at the relationship in the 360 generation, even going into the beginning of the Xbox One generation, we still got right after FF12 we got 13, right? 14 skipped it, but I understand why 14 skipping Xbox initially, because it's an MMO. You build it for one platform, and then you see where it goes from there, right? It's a lot of money and resources and time to build an MMO for multiple platforms, especially when you talk about the console space and not the PC space, which is just a bigger sort of platform unto itself. So I understood that, but beyond that, everything was coming to the console. Kingdom Hearts 3 came day and date, right, to Xbox. So it just sucks that the work had to be done because somewhere along the lines that relationship broke down and the communication wasn't there. And for whatever reason, and then you start, besides the cultural stuff where it's like, oh, Xbox players don't like those type of games, which is BS. You have to get around that whole narrative and conversation, and Phil has to, basically go in there and tell them why it's beneficial to put their games on the platform. And he managed to do it. He managed to do it with a game that is still super popular all these years later. But you can't really say no to having a larger player base when you have an MMO, right? Like that's why I laughed a couple weeks ago. We had Jez. We was talking about he didn't want anybody to touch his precious World of Warcraft. I'm like, are you bugging? Man, listen, you need as many eyes on this as possible. So, I'm not gonna play it. It's not for me. I'm not gonna delve into all that. But the fact that it's gonna be there, right, it is a huge deal, and it does bode well for everything else coming down the pipeline. Even the stuff that that Xbox has been sort of, denied up until now.
Are you implying that former denied games could be
Should be
entering the Xbox.
It absolutely should be. There's no reason. PlayStation should have no horse in this race at this point when it comes to FF7. Like it shouldn't, especially not the original, the original remake, right?
Well, I mean, we didn't see the contracts though. What if what
Yeah,
if
we
it's like
didn't
a
see?
death loop situation? The Ghost
Nah.
Wise?
It's not.
I would hope not. I see it. I understand why, right? I understand why, right? But with Phil saying more games are coming,
Yes.
my hope is that was one of the first things on the table, right? That in 16, right? And then, unless there is some, ground in stone contracts that cannot be undone or anything like that nature, then at the very least, he is talking about the stuff. The Attic was talking about the stuff down the pipeline to make sure that is coming to the console day and date, right? And then you have the Game Pass equation. And I will say this, right? Let's say Phil going over there all these years, trying to reforge this relationship. Let's say that's still been a tough sell just for the business aspect of it, right? Xbox is in spend mode, bro. They're in spend mode, and they are not. I believe they're not above having to be like, listen, man. If you're telling me we need to help you build the version for Xbox because it's monetarily you feel it's not in your best interest, the return is not going to be what you want it to be. We will do that, right? And I see Phil laying down on that sword and be like, hey, man, we need to see these games on this platform. It is what it is. So I can see that being a scenario as well, where they're helping to build these Xbox versions of these games monetarily.
Real quick, I want to push back on that is I'm okay with them making those initial pushes, but what I'm scared of is like in the long run, those companies feel comfortable with Microsoft paying for the ports every time.
Oh, 100%.
Because then it's like, I think that's just putting a Band-Aid on a cut, because it's not going to fix the issue. Because what's going to happen is now I've gotten used to like one or maybe two iterations of a game, a couple installments, and then when Microsoft's like, well, we're not paying for it anymore, we're not going to continue to pay for your ports, that's actually kind of your job. Then okay, we're not doing it no more.
I don't think that's going to happen. You know why? Because I think that's a conversation. Phil's going into this conversation knowing that full well. And if he's willing to do that, this is going to be, hey, when we see this level of engagement, right? Well, at that point, the proof is in the pudding, and you're going to have that level of engagement on this platform moving forward. You should be able to port these games yourself, and we'll talk about money at that point. But I don't think there's any need for us to now have to support that development, because we're showing you that the platform is viable for your game, right? All of that old stuff that you were throwing out at us, cool, got you, not anymore. And I can see that argument happening, Attic, but I see Phil already being prepared for that.
I feel you. It could be just like, conditions that like, we have no problem. Or maybe they're one of those things like, we'll keep fronting the bill until you start seeing an audience on our platform. Then at that
100%.
point, when we hit that, then you'll start fronting the bill.
That's 100%. If that is the scenario, right? Or a scenario.
Shaking his head.
I see
like
that.
the battle of the mustard hearts.
The battle of the mustard hearts. Oh no!
These dudes is
Listen,
battling to see who could be the weakest mustard hearts.
Yeah, this is the thing about you, King, though, right?
Look at me.
You don't know how to win. Like, you can't win nicely. No, you can't win.
He's never
You
been
get
able
a
to win
W. You get a W. It's
Yeah,
score
that's right. Yeah, you do
Score
what?
Listen,
I don't care. It's my win. I do with it like I like.
Let me refresh my memory. Did they close the deal the next day like you said they were going to? I thought the deal was gonna close the Monday after.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Listen.
Sometimes
you gave up the line a long time ago.
Yo, he gave up the. He ain't hold.
Listen,
he ain't hold the line.
I told you how to hold the line
a long time ago.
A-wall.
Tell us how we use the line.
A-wall. I went the other direction.
Hold on. This is for you. Yeah, that was you, sir.
Yo, so now Phil going in with a contingency plan is mustard heart. Because he went in there and he went in there through the meat on this. Because you're telling me
justify your heart.
all I'm saying is Phil Spencer, the man who he himself has said, I've been over there for years trying to reforge this. All of a sudden, he went over there with meat on the table. Like, yeah,
beef.
That's how it went down. It didn't go down that way.
You know what's funny?
And you know it go down that way.
Mustard Hearts like to revise whatever they want to do. Hey, listen, I just listened to y'all guys talk, and y'all was doing the battle of the Mustard Hearts. Continue to mustard.
All I'm saying, it may behoove you someday to take OW with a bit of humility.
I'm not doing that. No.
A little bit.
I'm not doing that. I'm gonna take my W how I like it. I like my W with a little sauce on it.
That's fine.
And if you don't like my W's, hey, turn around and look at them.
Put your L's a slathered in mustard.
Yeah.
Slathered in mustard.
It's beautiful, but only thing you do remember is these wins.
Oh my God.
So let King go so that he could basically reiterate what I say and try to say
basically obliterate
and
what
try
you say.
and try to say it in a different way that makes it sound like Phil walked in there with his chest out, because he didn't do that.
Yo, I'm gonna show you where you're wrong.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
And you know what?
Over there. Oh, he's gonna point to Phil coming out in the middle of them.
Is King trying to give that Kanye West energy? I'm gonna let you finish.
All right.
I would tell you. Listen,
I'll wait till I'm introduced.
The man went over there with humility as he should have. And he got the job done, and I appreciate that. He ain't go in there swinging no. He wasn't throwing haymakers.
How you know?
How you know?
How you know he was in the room?
So how you know he did? How you know he did?
Hey, listen, I know what I saw.
Oh, here we go.
You know what it was? My man ain't had no mustard heart interest.
This is King making inferences from pictures. This is the Miss Cleo King version.
I saw a video. My man came out looking like Goldberg. He came out. This is why I broke his head. He came out. You can't front. When they had the smoke and electricity and the lights, and he came out the hole.
Hold on. Corey Tidwell, $2 Super Chat. He said Phil went to Japan and threw Kong on the table.
Do not associate me with Phil and his meat, please.
He threw the meat on the table.
Oh my God!
All right, I'm done. I'll let you go now.
No doubt. Look, we got to get to it. You know what we're here for, King.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the discussion last week was very prophetic because we did talk about Square Enix, and you had some very strong proclamations. You had a bend the knee.
I will say I went from 0% chance of that happening to like a 15 now.
we got to give King his flowers. We all looked at him again like we always do when he makes bold proclamations sometimes. Like, yo, that's wild. He really saying this, like acquisition of Square Enix without any information, and then boom.
And who shows up on stage?
Like, King, I gotta like, what is going through your mind right now when you see Phil Spencer on stage with Square Enix heads talking about this relationship? And let's be clear, this relationship has been rocky and inconsistent at best for the last couple of years. So what do you make of this? And do you still stand on your theory that there's more to come? Let's go.
Check it out. The only thing that's been rocky and inconsistent was the old CEO. Money was on the table. This is before the ABK deal. Money was on the table. Yo, listen, we want to do this. We want to do that. We want to purchase this. And it was a deal in place. Microsoft came back to the table. CEO like, nah, we need more bread on that. Like, it's not like you saw somebody wallet before they left and they came back and you raised the price. Like, man. So that's where the talks was breaking down. Then ABK became available, and they was like, let's go handle that real quick. We can double back on these dudes. Because there was a point in time where tons of Square Enix games was showing up on Game Pass.
That is true.
And nobody thought that you would get any of the Kingdom Hearts series on Game Pass. Like all of them showed up, and then all these obscure Final Fantasy games started showing up. And we was like, "Yo, what's going on with this relationship? Where they going with it?" Well, come to find out, when the ABK information came out, the stuff that Sony did not want you to see, somebody had a whole dossier. They had a
that is true.
They pulled out this is the Square folder, like. And in that folder, they had everything, all the ins and outs, and they were approved for purchase. Like this is the higher up said, yeah, we see what y'all doing. We like that. We purchased them. Okay. So that information is there. So we're trying to figure it out like, oh, snap. All right. So the double back happened.
So what happened? What do you think happened?
Double back.
Wrong.
So as soon as it's ABK, the ABK deal is done.
Oh, ABK.
These dudes is over there. They feel like, all right, back on the grind. Grind never stops when you're a hustler. Grind never stops. So he was like, all right, back to what I was talking about. Back to my regularly scheduled program. Went right over back to Japan. New CEO in place.
Forget the gentleman, Kiryu, and the former. He took over from what's his name, Yosuke Masada. So he stepped down as president. And then Takashi Kiryu is now the new president. And I believe the timing was very interesting in conjunction to this announcement. Because I believe it's the new CEO started in June and Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox announced in July. What happened?
So there's this show I used to watch called Monk, and there was an episode where the mayor what's the thing when you do when you get someone out of jail? You
pardon them.
You pardon. Yeah. So there's a criminal that the mayor wouldn't pardon. So that criminal's like, we gotta get that mayor up out of here because we have chosen a successor that's gonna give us what we want.
So you try to imply this new positioned figurehead that's more amicable.
He was
Xbox.
on stage. He was on stage.
It's like we can't buy the company, so we're gonna buy the leaders.
They put a new guy that's a little bit more agreeable in place.
No, I don't even think what you're saying is factual.
What you think?
I'm just joking. I don't think that they will. I don't think they literally went in there and said we're gonna give you a paycheck to get something done.
That's the mustard heart version of it. But let me give you the real version of it.
Lord.
We want to be sold. The board, like, we want to be sold. We done pretty up ourselves. We done separated from IO. We done did all this other stuff. Dynamics, everybody gone. And we don't have the person in place, the guy to keep vetoing what we want to do. So you know what? We're gonna give you an offer you can't refuse. You gotta get up out of here. And you take this severance package and you disappear. The moment that he takes a severance package and disappear, the most accoladed MMO is showing up. Final Fantasy 14.
They had a private investigator walk in and be like, "Are these you in these pictures, my friend?"
They said, they had the dossier, and he slid it out and said, "In this shot, was this you hitting her?"
Man, this is a blackmail. They blackmail Masada.
And he said, I'll take my gold watch.
Wait, Phil went over there with the footage, with the tapes.
Put it on the table and said,
it wasn't even Phil, man. The investigator leaves, and then Phil walks in, and Phil sits down. So what's up?
Yeah, they did Yosuke like that, Matsuda-san like that.
So shout out to UGP and the new CEO greeting Phil. If y'all look at the picture when they all holding hands with the kumbaya,
yes, iconic.
They had to show you on the stage. This is real. This is happening.
Got props for days. I said something about lifting something out of an envelope, and King so happened to have an envelope near him.
Listen, I'm about that life. I'm about this podcasting life. If you call it, I got it. But the thing about it is, Phil is ready. He's not about going to Japan and playing around and having drinks and not making moves. He's there to make moves. He came out of the wrestler's tunnel, people to a rousing applause. So we're gonna have, all right, to hell with all the mustard heart talk. Everything's showing up, B.
Everything? Oh,
everything is showing up. Everything.
Final Fantasy remake.
But are you saying that a bag? You saying a bag wasn't involved in any of this?
No, listen. Money's always involved in everything.
That's what I said.
No, but no. You said it in a mustard-hearted way.
What? No mustard-hearted way.
Y'all saying
the same thing.
The exact same thing.
Nah. Not like how you talking though. Like how you.
He went there and spent money.
Listen. This is the bag.
Everything's coming.
Addict, watch this, right? Watch when that ABK deal is complete. Who's next? Everybody keep yelling out Sega. No, Sega next in line. There was a dossier, bro. Like if you go into the FBI department and you have
his face is on the wall.
Yeah, they have a folder with your face on it.
Yo, imagine that next time, like you go into that thing and ABK goes in there. He's like, "Yo, why is there an X over our logo? Oh, because we got you."
No, look, like the dossier. If you go into the FBI agent's office and your face is on a folder, start getting your affairs in order.
Get your affairs in order.
Dudes is coming around you up, bro.
They're about to snipe you.
They're about to pick you up. Like, you about to get got. They got information on you. Yo, do you find this weird? This is not weird. This is not coincidence. The next people they pick up is Square. The next they gonna go buy them outright. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So if you have those little contracts in the background, and Final Fantasy can never make it, well, we buy you, and guess what's gonna happen? Yo, what I love about Phil Dominus Maximus really is Spencer, first of his name.
Who did that for you, King?
Who did that for y'all? Who when y'all boot up that Final Fantasy? I played Final Fantasy on my PlayStation. I mean, the service was trash, but this guy said, I want this because, like Addict said, this is gonna give me the most visibility. I don't want a one and done. I want something that's gonna last in perpetuity. That Final Fantasy is associated with this console. So once I get the millions of MMO players over here to check that out and have that curiosity, then we're going to release the hounds on them. When they purchase Square, I just want y'all all to come back here and just give me my flowers. I told y'all a week before it happened what was going to happen. Then y'all saw like on a Thursday, like Phil is outside. He's holding hands on the stage. And all PlayStation dudes, we don't really like 14 anyway. Shut up. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of you. You hold everything cherished to your heart. And what Phil is doing is he's little by little removing all the cards out of your hand. He's best hand of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've ever seen in my life, my guy. And as soon as he put that death card down, you know that card that you can't move left and you can't move right, and that dragon come out and nothing that you do is ever gonna stop it, that's when y'all become an app. And my app prediction for you guys is happening every day. And it's accelerated.
They coming for this, King. They coming for this.
Yo, I just had to put on the crown because y'all forget who I am sometimes. Y'all forget who the hell I am. And y'all out here, King is talking out his butt. Yeah, but my butt spit facts.
So it was an all natural situation is the way you.
Oh, it was all natty all day on you. And Phil went over there and said, I want you. And I'm gonna have you.